I'm extremely sorry to break the protocol, but I highly disapprove of the fact that, with such honorable luminaries, dignitaries sitting in front of me, any minister would automatically get the title of honorable being attached before his name. I think anyone, it's highly embarrassing. I think every person, he or she, with his work, with his or her work, can earn that in his or her life and not get such things bestowed on him, especially when I have everyone inside this room who are all honorable gentlemen and men and women who have helped India immensely in grow in every possible manner. So let's address everyone as honorable gentlemen and women here and not embarrass me alone with all that. Shri Amitav Kant, everyone with me on stage are all proper nouns, and they are now, in the industry, they are adjectives, where, you say in an English language sentence that this guy plays like Sachin Tendulkar. So Sachin Tendulkar in that English statement is not a proper noun, he's an adjective. So everyone on stage with me are all proper nouns, so I'm not going through introducing them. I'll just take the names. Amitav Kanji, Harshavardhan Neotia, still the president of AIMA. Mr. Sanjay Kirloskar, Shri Harshpati Singhania. I find it very courageous of him to have that pati in middle. I hope that he enjoys that authority at home as well. Shri Sanjeev going, but this is not very amusing. Please don't take it personally. I have been to Lions Club programs and I have seen all married men still call them lion so and so. So, Mr. Sanjeev Goenka, no introduction required. Rekha Sethi ji, I congratulate you for the lovely work that everyone said you have done for the last 1 year. Just to give a little bit of a glimpse of what the National Management Convention has been doing for the last 1 year. It's a very strong line. It's innovate or perish. I think prevention is better than cure. I think this is another way of putting it, that if you don't, necessity is the mother of all creation. So I think all of you have realized the necessities that the society needs and have in your own way created stuff which not only helped our economy move forward, I'll get into that a little bit more in detail, but also generate a lot of employment which has let our country grow. In spite of the fact that we are probably growing a little too fast, we have 1.3 billion. You can need to slow down a little bit on that. It's an avalanche of disruptive technologies is sweeping the economic landscape, and the only way to prosper is to be innovative. India must put innovation at the heart of its policies and business strategies for national development and economic growth. Those are the lines, Rekhaji, that you have as the preamble of the other stuff that you have written. India enterprises need not just meet customer demands, but also change customer expectations. I think these are very strong, very intelligent lines, very well put. I remember, while reading an interview of Steve Jobs, we'll obviously talk about jobs, but when I was reading that interview of Steve Jobs, I remember he was asked what kind of research actually went into the industry, or into research of customer research actually went into to decide what iPhone is going to be like. His answer was iconic, that the customer is not going to know, or they should not know what to expect from the companies. It is for us to deliver it to them and tell them that, look, this is what it is. You are supposed to take yourself to a different level. I think that's a very important statement made, and I think the National Management Convention has put in the right lines, which is going to help create a path in the manner in which AIMA is going to walk forward. I also find it extremely embarrassing to stand here with a 5-page, very well written speech, because I think that it is for us to listen to the industry rather than delivering a speech, because all of you are enlightened enough. All of you are so successful in your own arenas that I, as probably one of the junior most in the ministerial team, it really doesn't look good for me to give you a speech. So if you can clap in between, I'll understand that you really want to keep it short, want me to keep it short. So please go ahead and clap. I really wouldn't mind. I just want to tell you one thing that, I'm sure after Amitabh ji speaks, you can't really say anything more, because Amitabh Kant ji is so good in showcasing what the government aspires to do and what are the things that are being done, that you really can't really add anything much to it, because he has really said it all. I can just tell you one thing, that a lot of fear or apprehension is there in the air. Let me be honest and not read out a speech, but read the minds of all the luminaries who are here. There is a lot of, I'm sure you may have had a lot of discussion about the slowing down of the economy and all of that. But I can tell you, I can give you a small line from what a film that all of us have seen, all of you have also seen, and that is in the film Sholay, Jo Dar Gaya Samjho. So, dariye mat, you have a government who really wants to, add Sholay to the growth of the economy. And our Honorable Prime Minister's, aspiration to make India a 5 trillion economy by 2024 might look a very ambitious goal to set, but nothing can be achieved without having an ambition to take the country forward. At least we have a great leader who shares his dream with the country, for all of us to remain inspired with what really we need to achieve and which way we need to grow. The government is very much a very humble government led by our Honorable Prime Minister. If you see, as a new politician, when I have read in the last 15, 20, 25 years of how the governments have behaved after having, gone through budgets, about making announcements in the budgets and all of that, about what is the path, Margdarshan, what is the path that they're going to follow in the next 1 year. I've really not found too many finance ministers or governments being, benevolent or being humble to accept that there are certain course corrections that can be done, should be done, having heard the industry after the budget has been announced. They have been very rigid, because once you make an announcement on a budget day, it's about being correct and being proved correct for the rest of the year, without giving a humble hearing to the industry, who really want some kind of changes in what you have really heard. So I think this is one government, as you've seen Nirmala Sitharaman ji is really working hard. The entire cabinet, all of us, we are all working hard to actually be good listeners and bringing those things, bringing those changes, bringing those climate changes. I had to promote my ministry, bringing that climate change in the mind of the people to not get into this fear mongering. I think, like in a river, in a flowing river, you go through high and ebb tides. I think in an economy, worldwide, if you see, there are, good days and bad days. And I'm sure that the fears in your mind will only be eliminated by courage. The government is showing enough courage, enough humility to address the concerns of the industry. And I know that getting an appointment with the Prime Minister is much more easier for all of you here than for me to get an appointment with him. So all of you, as I said, are all honorable men and women. So please feel free. Whenever he is free, and I'm sure he always takes out time to listen to the industry. Go and meet him. Whatever you have in mind, share it. I'm sure you are going to come out very, 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 very inspired. Because he is one man who has a goal in mind, and we are doing, as Amitabh ji has very rightly said, that we have made so many redundant laws. We have obsolete laws. We have eradicated them. We have made certain changes in the composition of the map of India in the more appropriate manner possible. You all know that this is a courageous government, and if there is some kind of fear or apprehension in the minds of the people, let's address that, and let's accept the fact that let's be inspired with the fact that this government is there to really not keep the ease of doing business, a rhetoric that lies on black and white speeches, but something that can be replicated and all that is being preached can actually be put into practice. It doesn't happen overnight, but I really have one line of Vajpayee ji written on the whiteboard I have in my bedroom. He had said that हम वादे नहीं इरादे लेके आए हैं. So I think that's a very, very important statement in वादे कई बार टूट जाते हैं, बट इरादे जो है अगर वो बुलंद है तो कई बार वो सारी मुश्किलों के ऊपर जो है वो जीत जाते हैं. और जब एक बंगाली हिंदी में ये बात कहे तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि वो कितना सिंसियर है in terms of as a representative from the government. So to read out a few lines from the beautiful speech that I have, I would just want the industry, to help us a little bit in eradicating this single-use plastic that our Honorable Prime Minister, a venture endeavor that he's leading from the front. I really want you to help us with that. As the economy grows, packaging will grow, and as packaging grows, we can move from plastic packaging to a beautiful paper packaging. There are a lot of great products that we see worldwide which are packed in paper packets, and yet they are so nicely, they don't need plastic, yet they remain crisp inside those packets. So we really do not need plastic in this world, and I think I would really humbly request all of you to help us in the government's endeavor in making this world as closer as we can get towards being a plastic-free planet. There is a big thank you that I want to express. This was not mentioned in the speech, but I think that all of you have done a great job in the CSR segment. All of you have contributed a lot in making the society a better place with the responsibilities that you have taken with your CSR initiatives. In my own constituency, I have gentlemen on stage who have helped me with this endeavor. So I thank you very humbly, and I wish to thank all of you for your contributions in the CSR segment. You can clap for yourselves. Even the gentlemen or women who have not done good in that particular direction, now that you have clapped for yourselves, please ensure that you finish your job in the next 6 months. The government is committed to the cause of growth, but it is also committed to the cause of combating climate change. And I am not going to promote my ministry more apart from mentioning that the name of it twice as climate change. But I have also been given the forest ministry and the Ministry of Forests, and I would really want to tell you that the thinking of the government in terms of policy making is pretty clear. It might, at times, it might create certain questions in your mind, which are very legitimate, which I said that you are most welcome to interact with the government and clear the air whenever that exists. But instead of moving in wilderness in a forest, I think it is clarity that probably is going to make all of you put in more money into the system than holding it back with unnecessary fear-mongering that is happening in many spheres or is being imposed on the business circle of India. So that's one thing that I really wanted to say. In the last, in the last or not the least, though it is written in my speech, but I would really want to say it from my heart that I thank AIMA for inviting me to the National Management Convention and repeatedly inviting me almost every year, because in my mind, since the time I started working, I have always loved products that you have made in different, in the consumer industry. I really love the concept of buy one, get one free. And whenever I go somewhere, I tell myself that I go as a buy one, get one free. Where I'm called to sing, I'm also made to light the lamp. Where I'm asked to light the lamp, they actually made me sing at the end of it. But the only sad part of it, which I know Harshi has something in mind, is that, with the media, when they show it on television, they cut anything good that I may have said as an honorable minister, and it's only that song that goes on television, and to be very honest with you, our Honorable Prime Minister has nice big LCD TVs all over his house. So it is not going to be very good for me if only songs are telecast in his residence. So therefore, I want all of you to understand my predicament as well. But I am still willing to risk that because it's always good to see all of you smiling at the end of it. I thank you so much once again. It's always a pleasure. And please pardon me if I have not. Rekha ji has also worked very hard to create this speech for me. But whatever I said is something that I believe from my heart, and I have spoken from my heart. I'm very sorry I didn't read out what you have written for me. But what I have not read out, something I think unspoken words can speak louder than words. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much.